disappointed in that. So that lane is just that bad for you, huh?
I don't know if it's that bad, but I think, when it's your 22 pick, I think it's supposed to be that good.
Right,
Is
right.
kind of how I feel.
Do you think in some ways maybe they wanted the Axe? Because they would have had the Axe Phoenix. They couldn't get Mars. That was already banned away. They need something to help protect the egg a little bit.
Axe would have been a good choice. I also think Centaur would have been fine. And then
Okay.
I mentioned they could even done like Dragonite offlane and picked a Kunkka for mid lane.
Yeah.
Just some big tanky frontliner guy who's not going to get bursted by Nick's tiny Axe, and buys a BKB to deal with the gyrocopter damage in the mid game, would be super problematic for OG's lineup.
I feel like I've seen Ninjas of Pyjamas do this a couple times now, or at least some of the European teams, where they just 5-stack on a high ground and see if anybody crashes into them. Unfortunately, Ninjas of Pyjamas did not manage to get a kill out of that move, but they do push away OG. We'll see if they get the bounty
advantage. It's a good early
advantage.
game play that really just doesn't really have it doesn't have a lot of consequences. So as long as you're fast out of the well, you can go stand on a high ground and maybe you get lucky and get a free first blood.
Saksa joining Sumail and No-Tail here, trying to put some pressure, see if they can get a first blood, and the bounty runes as well. You can see No-Tail's running back for it. He's like, maybe you guys can get this kill by yourselves. I want the bounty rune. He doesn't get it, but his team does get the first blood. Nicely played by OG. Looks like Seneko will manage to get the bounty runes on the other side.
Okay, so Nick's starting up here in the tri lane to start things off. This is going to be problematic for Beastmaster and Phoenix.
Yeah, if it was a bad lane before, giving away first blood is going to make things that much worse.
Yeah, I wonder how well Seneko will be able to do in terms of zoning out Axe. Axe is traditionally very good against melee offlaners. Elder Titan's a bit of a special hero though, because he gets he has a lot more attack damage than most melee supports.
If he actually can run that spirit through multiple of the neutral camps.
Nyx is bottom now. I think Axe will cut when he gets level 2, but maybe not. We'll see. Kind of hard to stop more from free farming in this lane though, I think.
Yeah, certainly. There's just not enough pressure. Maybe if it was an Axe with the hunger mixed with some sort of ranged support that could harass the Morphling with you, then maybe they could actually do something to inhibit him.
Like Rubik or Phoenix.
Yeah. As it is, Nyx Assassin is one of his biggest downsides. Just really doesn't provide that much, and oftentimes you end up with a double melee lane.
All right, level 2.
Do have the melee matchup in mid lane as well, the DK versus the Tiny, where it looks like Tiny has gotten slightly ahead in the deny department. Seneko taking a lot of damage here.
That was a terrible trade for an NIP in this bottom lane. Yeah. They tanked like all the creeps plus both heroes attacking both of them.
There's one thing, at least Nyx Assassin can trade a bit with the Elder Titan with his high armor, high regen, and then Spike Carapace helping him out eventually.
Beastmaster's Hawk still blocks camps, right?
I thought they changed that in like just the last patch or something.
To that it doesn't?
Yeah, that it doesn't anymore. I could be wrong.
I think you're right. I think we're both right. I don't think it blocks camps anymore.
Yeah, it used to for the longest time, and then I think that was just a very recent change. I think that's fair. It was kind of annoying that Beastmaster just had a free answer to polling.
It makes the life of the support a little bit harder. That was one of the nice things about Beastmaster is he freed up your support to kind of just trade well, be in the right position often.
Right.
Oh, there's a courier. Didn't see it, I guess.
Didn't quite get it. Era chased away by another rocket. We can see this lane is definitely being pressured, but Gyrocopter is focusing so much on pressuring the opposing heroes that he doesn't actually have that good a CS.
He's taking a lot of damage right now, and No-Tail used his tether on a creep, so that's on cooldown for a bit.
Yeah, that's a little awkward. Sumail, they do have a few more Fire Spirits with the Icarus dive there. Looks like Sumail's going to go down. The boards are going to chase him, and Ninjas the Pyjamas caused the upset here and win a lane that they probably shouldn't have. What happened with No-Tail clicking a creep?
He was trying to connect the hard camp pull.
Oh, okay.
But they were just kind of on they were on different pages there. Sumail wanted to pressure the lane, and No-Tail wanted to pull, and Sumail got too far up, and they decided they could go on him. And I think once they saw that the Wisp was tethered to a creep, and he couldn't. Oh, look at mid.
Yeah, look at this, Supreme. If only he had the mana for that next Breathe Fire, he could actually kill Thompson. That would just be insane.
All right, this is huge. Right here is the 4-minute rune. Thompson has an empty bottle.
If they can manage to take that away from Thompson, he's going to make a break for the top lane, but there's Era on the other side, and he's going to be met with a Dragon Tail. A beautiful gank by them. He tosses away the Dragon Knight, hoping that he'd be able to stun and get the rune to fill up his bottle to stay alive, but it's not the case. Thompson goes down.
Arrow with the second kill.
Yeah.
Oh, he lost his chicken, though, because Sox got a haste bottom.
Ninjas of Pyjamas doing very nicely for themselves in some lanes that they honestly probably just shouldn't get kills. The top lane, that shouldn't happen, and now mid lane, like obviously Tiny shouldn't be really dying to a DK, but he almost did solo.
Yeah, but Axe in the bottom lane is having a totally free game. Soneko's pretty much having no impact in the game, I would say.
What do you do in this situation when the offlaner has definitely secured, like, okay, he's way stronger than you at this point, and he's constantly cutting creep waves?
One thing Elder Titan can do is especially well compared to other sports is stack camps.
Okay.
I think that would always be an option for him. Just needs to make sure that Gyrocopter, Tiny, or Axe don't come and take them.
Yeah. So he'd have to do it like pretty deep on their side of the map. Nice call from mid one to ensure they get that one bounty rune. He doesn't try and make a break for the other one, which looks like Seneko should be able to grab in time. Saxa snipes another courier.
A flying courier this time.
Yeah.
Supreme caught sleeping. Yeah, or he can... I like to make my move as a position 5 where I'm not having impact in lane after the 5-minute bounty runs.
Stun comes up. Can they actually burst him down? I don't think so. Not even close. Supreme takes barely any damage whatsoever, and now if the Icarus dive slows down Thompson or even just the body blocking from Era, they should manage to get this kill. Thompson sneaks ahead of him though. A couple more shots would seal it, but stun comes out. Seneko, he's not going to be able to get this kill, it looks like. Era's still chasing after him. Thompson turned around. Saberlight, that's why he was on the other side of things. They did a nice job corralling him in and securing that kill. Damn, look at all those tips to Thompson.
Coordinated. It only works until you lose.
Well, they're certainly... I'm surprised they're not up in net worth. It's 3-1 right now. Supreme's pressuring that mid tower with the Siege Dragon. It feels like things are going really well for them. But, you pointed out the Axe is totally free farming. Now that Saberlight's left top lane, Gyro's also doing the same. Toss him back into the tower range. Still plenty of creeps, though, to tank up the tower. So Supreme can just keep on trucking here. And OG, they're going to lose their tower really early.
Yeah, it's actually going down right now.
Thompson might try and go for the deny, but he's Fire Spirit slowed. So a Tiny that has the Fire Spirit attack speed slow on him takes ages. And now he's going to cop a little damage. Soxic's going to run in to ensure that Thompson's okay. But still, the damage is done. The mid tower's gone.
It's gone, and they got the last hit for Era. Era's got a tower kill and 2 hero kills.
Damn, this boy's going to be mega farmed.
Unfortunately, still level 3, though. But he'll get the tome at 10 to catch up. Saberlight has Roar.
Yeah, and he's dancing around, gets on top of No-Tail here, and it feels like this should be a freebie even maybe without the Roar, but No-Tail slips away thanks to the tether.
A little greedy holding the Roar, but I suppose as long as Gyrocopter's not farming the lane, he doesn't even need to use it.
Speaking of Era, how do you think he's been doing as a 4 position?
Era?
Because,
yeah, he's been doing amazing. I recommended him for an MVP vote. Actually, no, I was saying Seneko. The support duo in general has been doing fantastic. Sometimes it can be hard to shine as a Phoenix because you just kind of cast egg in the back, and most of the time everyone just runs away.
Yeah.
But his Earthshaker performances have been fantastic.
It's really nice to see him do well, because I remember listening to an interview of him about a month ago, and he said he felt like he was kind of struggling in the 4 positions, trying to still learn things, because he had adjusted to 5, being on the final tribe for so long.
Yeah, well.
And he's doing quite well for himself.
He used to be a core player, and honestly, the only difference between 4 and 5 these days is you get more items, because you're not buying as many sentry wards.
And he certainly knows what to do with items,
sometimes
being a former 1.
Sometimes I think it's a good experience for people to play 5. So they kind of, especially with the way wards are free now, people can. It's actually really beneficial if people are placing their own wards.
Oh yeah.
It helps me so much as a 5-position player, but I mean most core players just don't really do it.
Yeah.
So if you have that experience as a 5 player, and you know how important it is for you to have this ward in a certain situation, then you can just do it as a 4, and it makes everyone's game so much
Heavy
easier.
rotation from Ninjas of Pyjamas. They lead off with the roar with Supreme making his way up here. He's going to get the follow-up stun on No-Tail. That'll probably be 2 kills unless he gets away with that tether. Mid one. He rotated in to try and bail out OG, but I think the damage is already quite hefty here. He only gets the one-man call, and he's diving into all these heroes. A 2-man impale to follow it up, and Thompson's going to be able to get the toss onto Era as well. The Phoenix does go down. A stomp out. Lands onto 2. Mid one immediately woken up by the boar that was there. Dropping very low. Has another call if he wants to amp up his armor, but it looks like it's not needed. They actually have to back away because now Samael, his death timer is so small that he was able to come back into this fight with the Battle Hunger on a Saberlight. That's going to slow him down quite significantly. He picks up a Centaur, but it's not enough to help him out of this sticky situation. They just stuck around far too long.
Yeah, NIP getting outnumbered here. Morphling is not willing to join fights, and it's OG with the chase here.
They're going to be able to get even more kills. That Centaur, nice stun, but there's still the Avalanche to be able to slow down Supreme. He is so tanky. It's taken a very long time, and maybe it's going to be OG who are in turn going to stick around too long. It's now Samael dropping lower and lower. The call goes out. Doesn't get Era. Era focusing on manage to get the Samael, and the Centaur again just keeps on landing those hits. The Elder Titan finally goes down, but Era, he was going to die, but he picks up a haste rune now. Just runs away from mid one. Going to kite him out.
That was Gaben's Centaur, by the way.
Wait, that was...
That was from the medium camp here. The triple stun onto OG.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thompson, Primal Roar. I thought that was Saberlights from when he picked it up.
He had the Satyr up here that died.
Oh, okay.
Remember, and then he was still dead.
Damn.
Up until the very end here. I believe. I mean, I made this call the other day.
And
I was wrong too. Like I thought it was a neutral, but it ended up being Enchantresses. So maybe we'll get the instant replay.
Yeah, maybe we'll check that out. Because I thought I saw him pick up the Centaur when he passed by this hard camp before he died.
Maybe he gave and decided it was bad for business for OG to be a 3-time TI champion.
Time to shut him down.
Yeah.
Heard the players complaining about all the money ending up in just a few hands of the teams.
Agreed.
Got to shut OG down. 7-4. And they finally do get that tier 1 tower in the top lane. OG still looking to make moves though with mid one.
Their tower's
needing
already
the charge.
Gone, and they are only 3 heroes here.
Okay, he calls a bunch of creeps. He wants to kill the Satyr and the 2 boars, and they will do all of that. Relocate.
5 people here for OG.
They don't have any stuns to be able to stop these heroes from retreating. Maybe Sineko's going to be caught eventually here. But Charlie, he's going to show up. He turns into a gyrocopter immediately. The egg is there, but they have no way to be able to protect it. Mid one is going to be enough to finish it off. They're going to turn onto this Morphling who's turned into a gyrocopter. Waveforms through them, though, and he feels pretty safe. They knows they've thrown all of their big burst spells, so he can play real aggressively. In the end, felt like a really good engagement for Ninjas of Pyjamas.
Yeah, overall, pretty good. I'm trying to think in hindsight, like, what did they actually get out of it? They got a Phoenix kill, they got a Morphling port, but Morphling's pretty happy to be playing in this top lane now anyways.
I mean, with, like, the tier 1 tower being gone, he can kind of play real deep on this side.
He can take this entire jungle.
Yeah.
And they want to play on... I mean, they're Radiant, so he might want to come back towards the Ancients at some point. We'll see. He's not super unhappy to make this teleport, though.
Feels like mid one is the only one who is really progressing in net worth right now. In fact, he's still ahead of everyone else in the game, but Samael and Thompson fallen several steps behind. They're going to smoke up now. It seems they say that it's not time to farm. Aggression is going to solve their net worth problems, but it's going to be aggression from Ninjas the Pyjamas that catches Samael. At the same time, they're going to kill Sineko, but just like last time, a support for a core is to the favor of Ninjas the Pyjamas, and now it might even be even more. Thompson looks like that boost of movement speed should get him out from the phase boots. Still, though, 2,000 net worth lead for Ninjas the Pyjamas, forcing OG to retreat. They will encroach deeper and deeper onto the dire side of the map.
They're going to try and get a little kill on Morphling here. They see him.
Yes, he's only at 700 HP. They get the call before he can morph into strength. Is this the kill? They get the toss onto the Morphling instead of onto mid one. Nice placement there from Thompson that ensures the kill.
That Sentry Ward providing a little bit of false sense of security from Morphling. They had a clear farming here, but this little ward that he is like, oh no, they have another ward here, just actually went away, so... More action on bottom now. Mid one's everywhere.
Really is, but he misses the Cooling Blade. Seneko pops the one. It still dies to the Avalanche. Supreme looking to catch up, but that melee range Dragon Tail isn't quite long enough. The Centaur, maybe he can catch up to Thompson. Mid one is also kind of stuck here on the side, but I don't know if they want to go for him. He's really tanky. He Dragon Tail stuns and tries to break away. Speaking of break, that's a break on the Dragonite thanks to the Nyx assassin, making him super squishy, especially with all the magic damage coming in from the Gyrocopter. OG not breaking a sweat here as they continue to bounce back and forth from side to side of the map and continue the aggression. This time it does pay out for them.
Yeah, on the opposite side, NIP looking like they are a little bit lost and confused about how fast OG is playing on the map at the moment.
Yeah, Saberlight's probably thinking, you know, we just won back-to-back fights against them. How can they be so confident to try and take yet another engagement so quickly?
OG, the kind of team, Thompson especially, always looking for windows. Yeah, he's not afraid to challenge his opponents, say, hey, you know, I'm going to run at you, and if you don't make the right play, if you don't make the perfect play, I'm going to kill you.
I've heard a lot of teams talk about how OG puts them under pressure.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the style you're talking about
exactly.
from Thompson?
Force them to play well is basically what Thompson does. Even if he's going for a suboptimal play. NIP still needs to react properly in order for that suboptimal play to fail.
And here they did not react properly. They overextended themselves into a relocate.
Yeah.
That led into a couple of kills.
They're getting outnumbered just about everywhere they go. So if they're going to lose a Elder Titan at the beginning of the fight, it's probably a good idea not to just not fight.
Pop the Dragon form, thinking they want to take this fight. They do have the Supernova around with a Stomp as well. They're going to make sure they all in on mid one. The rest of OG, they do quickly retreat.
Yeah, this is exactly what NIP wants to be doing. It's just defending their area of the map with 4 while Morphling farms the other side of the map. And hopefully Morphling doesn't have another one of those deaths solo, like in the top lane area.
Yeah.
And it is possible because OG does have some good wards.
If it wasn't for that death, he would be way ahead of the Gyrocopter. He still is by 1,000 gold. But
Thompson dead.
yeah, I'm surprised Thompson still got caught in that area.
Well, he doesn't have his blink yet. He's actually pretty underfarmed on Tiny. He's not doing a lot of creep killing, just running around chasing heroes. Blink Dagger is a huge power spike for Tiny. Allows him to burst some of these squishy targets.
So in a way, is this OG? Oh, jeez. Now Saxa gets caught. I mean, they've been showing 4 heroes down here for a while. I think Saxa wanted to try and slow down this push, but no such luck. Ninjas the Pyjamas take that tier 1 as well. Now they're all off the map.
Yeah, I don't think OG can afford to be losing heroes like this. It's slowing down their momentum quite a bit, and I think as the game progresses, I think NIP gets stronger and stronger as they level up. They gain HP. They work towards some items, giving themselves additional magic resistance or magic immunity through the BKBs.
Blink Blade Mail for mid 1.
Phoenix has 1,300 HP. He's going for the Spirit Vessel. He's going to be nearly impossible to burst at that point. I was also going to say, based on the draft, I think Phoenix is actually really good against Axe, unless I guess Nyx can cancel the Sunray. But
yeah,
Sunray is really good against Axe, just because you hit the Axe and the hero he's on.
Yeah.
So it's like double or triple or quadruple effective.
Leading off with a stun onto the Dragonite. Slow him down a bit. Looks like OG, they are finally going to be taking more of a break. Unless mid 1 sees them overextend here, they all group up around this tunnel. May see his opportunity. Only a one-man call, but 2 boards on top of it. And with enough burst damage from Thompson, they do get that kill. The Supernova, though, is going to force them to retreat. They can't take that momentum and build off of it. A nice relocate, not too far away, just to the side, outside of Supernova range, allowing them to be able to reinitiate with mid 1. Nice! A 2-man call with Thompson coming in from the side with an avalanche that is going to swarm over Ninjas of Pyjamas and bring down 2, presumably. Seneco's pretty fast. Can he actually dip away and TP out outside of Thompson's vision? I don't think so. He's a Bloodhound. He throws out his avalanche and spots him.
And that's Thompson's Blink Dagger. So NIP messing up once again, just getting a little over-aggressive on the Dragonite. Chasing into, that's twice now. He did it on the bottom fight, he did it here again on the top fight. Running into the high ground. Not a lot of vision for Radiant there, and he was actually like 50% HP when he walked up there.
Yeah, Supreme definitely overestimated how tanky he was, and I hate it when people run into these funnels, man. This one on the Dire side, and then there's that Radiant side as well heading into the triangle.
If they were a bit stronger, maybe they could do this, but look where the Morphling is. The Morphling is, he's busy farming his E-Blade, which is what he should be doing. His team should just not be... His team is just being too aggressive. They don't need to be taking away area from OG. They can wait for Morphling's E-Blade and then make a play like this.
There's a reason why OG was trying to play so fast, right? Is they felt like trading farm with the enemy team as a Morphling is just not that good of an idea.
If OG wants to sit on their side of the map, NIP will sit on their side of the map, and Morphling will outscale and carry the game eventually. So OG is trying to constantly make plays on NIP's side of the map.
No tail. He got bopped there pretty hard. Yep. Dies in less than a second to the Primal Roar plus the Adaptive Strike. Reminder that this Morphling is pretty strong.
Watch out, Saberlight. You don't need to be here anymore.
Hey, these Tier 1 tower, they are apparently going to play around it here. A deep blink in behind the tower does manage to catch the Beastmaster, and they jump onto the Morphling. He turns into a Gyrocopter, though, with the Supernova out. OG is forced to retreat, and it looks like mid one is going to be caught by the Gyrocopter. He turned back in and popped his Rocket Barrage just before he got stunned, but he's got to be careful of all this burst damage, but he morphed into Strength again. Charlie, well aware of OG and how they will continue their aggression if they see the opportunity, plays defensively, pops the Morph Strength, and now OG's initiation is turned against them. It's turned into ash in their mouth. His No Tail, he's going to die again here. He just relocated into this fight thinking that with the extra reinforcements, they could finally take it, but it's not the case at all. They end up losing, what, 4 in that engagement on the side of OG, and I don't think anybody died on Nip.
Era's positioning in these fights has been fantastic. Whenever his teammates are in a bad position, he just pops the egg immediately. Saberlight, OG's still missing a little bit of damage, I think, for these axe calls that are happening. Gyro's not really to a point where he's doing a lot of single target damage yet, and Tiny wasn't really there yet.
I know OG doesn't want to take too much time farming, but I really think they need to wait for the next team fight until they have BKB on Gyro. Because then they have an egg answer, right? Then he can pop BKB and just run at it.
Yeah, hit the egg with Flak on.
They're going to be able to catch Soxa inside of the river and right next to the Roshan pit, too. Is Ninjas and Pyjamas, is this a little overly ambitious? We'll have to see if OG tries to interrupt this Roshan tent.
Over ambitious, but they do have a Vlad's on Beastmaster, which means that they can stay relatively high HP while doing it. Roshan's not just going to beat the shit out of them. And when I think they're very aware that OG could come try to contest, but
they have a relocate just now, but it's a bit too late.
Morphling kills it quick.
Yeah.
So a huge advantage here for NIP with that Aegis pickup.
Yeah, certainly. Now the Morphling can just keep playing with them. He does have that E-Blade. He has the Aegis, so I don't really see a reason for him to continue farming too much.
BKB finish for Gyrocopter coming out on the chicken. The OG's still missing their Spirit Vessel, which is we saw in that last fight. The Morphling is just impossible to kill without it.
Yeah. That is the downside of not having a core that can build Spirit Vessel.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-position Nyx. Like, that is not a good farming hero.
And that's the one thing I don't like about OG's draft is they have Axe and Tiny, who are both rushing Blink Daggers, kind of doing the same exact thing, just kind of starting fights for their team.
Right. Does that say more about the draft of the heroes, or would you have liked to see Thompson go for a different Tiny build?
I'm just not sure that Tiny is a good hero if you're doing the other build. I think
Fair.
In this kind of game, I think this is all he really can do. But
the Tinies that we've really seen successful is the right-click build, right?
Yeah, but against
Very
Morphling,
situational.
and not really sure I'd like it that much.
BKB is going to be choice for Charlie here. He just rushes up to the high ground because he's got the Aegis. He may lose that Aegis here. The Sunray is not enough to protect him, but it does get mid one killed.
Blade Mail pickup from mid one there. It was super clutch.
They want to try and keep pushing this. There is the buyback from mid one. The relocate is coming in right in the middle of everybody with the Gyrocopter BKB. They're going to try and run down Saberlight first, but he's lost No Tail. Mid one comes in with a call. Managed to grab the Morphling as well as the Dragonite Supreme. Dropping low. Might be able to finish him off, but the Supernova once again is going to force OG away. Just beautiful placement from Era every single time to force OG back. And once they're on the retreat, Ninjas to Pajama looks to be able to put them in their grave. 3 dead with no buyback. But everybody from Ninjas in Pyjamas is low, so they can't push their advantage just yet.
Yeah, no creep wave either, so backdoor protection did kick in. So they're going to have to go back and farm a little bit more. Unfortunately, they lost their Aegis on Morphling with that first initial axe jump, so...
Soxa, he's spotting out all these heroes.
Could have a fight.
They want to fight this right now. The Dragon Knight is showing himself up at the top lane, so they're going to try and catch as many heroes as they can. It does cost Soxa his life, and it looks like OG don't feel confident about this, even though they know there's only 3 heroes up here. They're also missing mid one still because his death timer is so long.
Yeah, mid one is kind of doing the most damage in for OG just because of his Blade Mail pickup here. If he can get on top of Morphling, I think that's the only way they can kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have Spear Vessel now on Nyx, so that does kind of give them a little bit more options. But
oh no,
Morphling just finished his BKB.
Yeah, he has BKB, also no charges
so
for the Nyx Assassin.
I guess that's kind of the timing that they missed by not having a core hero go Spirit Vessel. Like Morphling gets his BKB E-Blade before you get your Spirit Vessel. Is Spirit Vessel even good now? Probably not.
And a lot of OG, they were dependent on Spirit Vessel and a lot of the magic damage coming out from this gyro. BKB will deal with both of that.
Yeah, he's got magic damage with the Maelstrom as well, so he is.
Yeah.
They're going to be struggling to kill Charlie when he pops his Black King bar.
And you can't, like mid one, he's trying to deal with some of these creep wave pushes in, but the E-Blade is so strong from Charlie at this point. He can no longer stand out there in the front lines. He gets just pretty much casually one-shot by Ninjas in Pyjamas. Without their initiator, OG really can't seem to take a fight confidently here. That's going to be 1 lane of barracks. Going to go for 2. Yeah, they just rotate into bottom lane. Still have plenty of time.
They know the Axe doesn't have buyback.
They still have that Dragon form up as well. They may back out.
They've got double 10-second BKBs on their 2 big cores.
50 seconds until the next Dragon form. Maybe they'll just play one of these plays where they just sit on this high ground area and stick around.
Just hang out here. If OG wants to take a disadvantageous fight, then NIP will gladly take it. But they themselves don't need to be overextending into any position where OG could potentially take an advantageous fight for themselves.
Right. You just use this as kind of like your second base. You play in the high ground, you cut the waves between bottom and middle, make sure those don't get pushed in, and once your cooldowns are back up, you can resume your high ground assault.
Luckily for OG and unfortunately for NIP, they have this ward here near the Ancients that kind of clues them in if NIP is still hanging around this area. Sometimes if NIP wanted to, they could smoke from this high ground here and head towards the other side of Dire's jungle and potentially find some picks, but because they see them, look at what OG is able to do on the map. They're initially going into basically rat mode, right? They're cutting bottom wave, cutting top wave. Axe is here to cut mid wave.
Fortunately,
the creeps are already... There were creeps?
Yeah, I think they had 1 creep wave.
So they might not be able to defend this or Axe. And NIP taking the initiative.
Soxa, he's already dead. Ninjas in Pyjamas. They strike first. The backdoor protection is back up, though. It's actually going to save this lane of barracks. 1 more creep wave is on its way in, but they've kind of already lost some of their momentum. They may try and go back in with the rest of this Dragon form. In fact, they see an opportunity to blink in and stun up Thompson. They put the Supernova right in front of everybody. BKB Gyrocopter's going to try and deal with it right now, but he can't do it alone, especially with the Primal Roar. He's stunned up long enough for the Supernova to explode, and the double shots from Charlie as he turns into a Gyrocopter with Flat Cannon will put the rest of OG down. And surely that's going to be a GG called from OG. There it is for No-Tail.
NIP looked very good in this game. I'd say the Supreme had 2 little mistakes where he got a little over-aggressive, but besides that, I thought overall they just played fantastic throughout the entire